What is poppin', y'all? Cowboy Bales here, and the regular season officially comes to a close with an unfortunate loss to the Chicago Bears. A game that, in my mind, the Bears, should have won. Then the Packers should have won, and then the Bears won. It was completely at odds. I couldn't believe that the way things transpired, but I just feel like this game now just gave the Chicago Bears some optimism, because all I can say is, good. I mean, the Bears would have actually had a chance to land Travis Hunter, so at least that's the good thing that comes out of it. But goodness gracious, I'm not trying to think anything right now. I'm trying to think positive right now. Trying to go into the playoffs with a good open mind. It's going to be really hard to really sit there and go into Philly in the first round and do what we did second year in a row. The Packers go into the Cowboys, and they managed to win because no one thought we were that good. Now people have seen us for a full year. And now you're starting to really think, are we even that good? Because clearly we have done terrible against our division this year, finishing with the worst division record in the history of the Packers organization, going 1-5. We should have went 0-6. Carl Brooks saved us from that. But this was obviously a game, I just want to move on from and think, okay, let's just go into the postseason and think, okay, we can do some better things. This just was a lot of bad things that happened. This game was kind of already going to be like, okay, this was getting away from us. Bears kind of opened this game up with a fake punt type play that fooled the entirety of the special teams. The guy literally got it. He took it to the house and scored a touchdown. Then we had the ball. Jaden Reed fumbles. And then obviously that gets taken in. That was taken in for a touchdown a couple plays later, because that was obviously in their vicinity. So pretty much it was like, okay, we're already down by a lot. Not a good start. Jordan Love then comes in the game. Packers are moving the ball down the field. And then Christian Watson hurts himself, blows his knee. If it's an season-ending injury, ACL, what a terrible way to put yourself in. Because that possibly could have been your last snap as a Packer. Then Jordan Love, they makes a throw, gets absolutely his hand banged up, and then Jordan Love gets injured. Now, my belief is he's okay, and he will be ready to go next week. But Malik Willis obviously ended up having to come in and play the whole game. Jordan Love went 7-12, 69 yards. He looked okay. He wasn't doing phenomenal, but he was getting some stuff done. Malik Willis went 10-13, 136 yards, only one carry for 3. I thought he'd run a lot more, but managed to, the times when he really wanted to scramble, he got sacked. That was the truth out of it. Our run game actually looked pretty decent. Not going to lie. Manuel Wilson, 14 carries, 73 yards, and a touchdown. Chris Brooks, 8 carries, 59 yards. Josh Jacobs obviously had 6 carries for 44 and a touchdown, tying the record for Paul Hornung for the most touchdowns in a consecutive game. And that's great. I'm happy that Josh Jacobs did that. I wish we would have saw him more, but I get it. It's more important to make sure your players are healthy going into the postseason. Malik Heath had 3 catches for 53 yards. Ontavian Wicks, 5 for 49. Jaden Reed, 2 for 48. Obviously, you lost Christian Watson. You didn't even have Romeo Doubs either. He was obviously ruled out late for the sickness. Tucker Kraft, 4 for 36. A touch for 19 for Musgrave. That was pretty much it for everybody. Couple turnovers. Jaden Reed had a fumble. Malik Willis also had a big fumble. We were looking like we were going to drive and take the lead, and then Kevin Byard came out, who had an unbelievable game of 14 total tackles, a tackle for loss, and the sack, which obviously forced the fumble. That was obviously a big play on their end. But yeah, that was that on their side. Edgerrin Cooper, Eric Wilson led the day with 7 tackles. Rashawn Gary did get a sack. He was the only one that got a sack on the season. And Xavier McKinney also with an interception after the Bears tried a trick play that absolutely went horrible. Where they tried getting Keenan Allen to throw the ball. That went horrible. It's good to know that we have a reliable kicker. Brandon McMahon is 3 of 3 from field goals today. That's good to know that we have a reliable kicker. Sucks that I'll get to, obviously, the game later. Caleb Williams, 21 of 29, 148 yards and a touchdown. 3 carries for 10 yards. DeAndre Swift, 20 carries for 65 yards and a touchdown. And DJ Moore, 9 catches for 86 yards and a touchdown. Keenan Allen, 3 for 25. Roman Dunze, 2 for 18. Noshawn Johnson, 5 for 16. Cole Kmet, 2 for 3. Kevin Byard had 4 tackles and a sack. And then TJ Edwards and Brian Cowart with the others kind of were off of scrambles. Carlos Santos with the game-winning field goal. That was their only one. I'm not saying the defense played terrible, but I mean, I don't trust them when it comes to game-sealing situations. They just can't do it. It's just simple as that. I don't know what LaFleur was thinking, but that just the game just was at its worst as it could really be. So obviously, the Packers looked like they were going to lose this game. Then a miracle drive happened. The Packers were able to get down. They had a chance to tie it. They got the touchdown. They needed the 2-point conversion. Obviously, that did not come through. So then the Packers had to rely on their defense to really get the play to work. They were out midfield, and then the luck of the luck happened. They fumbled. I don't know how lucky you get to have something like that happen. What really messed up everything was how instead of taking out all the time to basically put the kicker in a situation where it's you miss the kick or make the kick, LaFleur takes a timeout. And that's what gave the Bears all this time to get down the field and get a game-winning field goal. LaFleur, again, cost us a game because he thought in his mind that, if we miss it, we could get the ball back on some miracle play. That wasn't going to happen. It's stupid. I don't know what LaFleur was really thinking there, but in my mind, if he would have done it the correct way, took the ball all the way down to when the play clock would expire, you'd have 15 seconds left of the game. Obviously, you'd take off a couple more seconds with the made field goal. Then you'd have 10 seconds. The Bears would likely ice their final timeout to ice the kicker. In my mind, I don't know what LaFleur was thinking. I just don't know, and I just don't understand how someone can go into next week thinking they can win a game. I don't think there's a single Packer fan out there that really thinks, we got this next week because of how a one minor decision makes up the entirety of it. Very first play, horse collar tackle. A play that literally looked like it was going to do nothing. Horse collar tackle. It could have been a sack, but that's the best thing that I just, and then they go down the field. They're able to get in field goal, clock it with 2 seconds left. They kick the game-winning field goal. That is, I wish they, obviously if I was LaFleur, I wish I would have at least tried to ice the kicker there, but I think he just kind of knew what's the point. I wish that would have been the case. I wanted to go into next week with a win thinking, okay, you know what? Let's get a good win. We didn't have Jordan Love. We didn't have half our team. Half our team was missing. Jair Alexander out for the year. You didn't even have Evan Williams or Quay Walker still, You didn't have Romeo Doubs. And then, obviously, Rashawn Gary and Kenny Clark and Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney got limited snaps. In my mind, you just got to think about things from a standpoint and go, this game wouldn't have mattered. Wouldn't have mattered. Even if we would have won, it wouldn't have mattered. Because obviously the Washington Commanders were able to win with a go-ahead touchdown to end the game. They will go obviously play. They're going to win this game, and they are going to either play the Buccaneers or the Rams. We're playing the Eagles. The only thing that I can say is Jalen Hurts has not played in 3 weeks. Okay? He has not played in 3 games. Their starters have not played today. If they preserved all that and then they come into it looking sloppy, that could be a huge blow for the Eagles. I think it is possible the Packers can go into Philadelphia next week and knock off the Eagles. I think it's possible. Do I think most people will probably say the Eagles are going to win? Absolutely. They are one of the outstanding teams. The Packers have not beaten a team with a better record than them this year. They got swept by the Vikings. They got swept by the Lions, and they lost to the Eagles in the very first game of the season. Where it is, I don't know where to be. But the fact is, hopefully that you could consider this a trap game. We lost this game, and maybe people are thinking, oh, great. There's some positives. I'm glad the Bears are probably not going to land Travis Hunter unless they somehow make a trade, but why would they do that? You know what? Let it be. Bears got optimism now. But, again, we're still in the playoffs. We weren't really playing for anything. We knew we were probably going to get the 7th seed. We had to rely on another team to lose. That wasn't the case. So, that's that. That is the regular season. How it comes to an end. A lot more games on. Of course, the big one was the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions, obviously facing off tonight. The Buccaneers did win, so they officially are going to win they obviously will win the division. Obviously, where it comes to if the Rams win, the Rams will be the 3 seed, Buccaneers will be the 4 seed. I think that's how it is right now. But obviously, the big game tonight is Lions-Vikings. Who wins the 1 seed? Who gets the 5 seed? It's pretty obvious. We're facing the Philadelphia Eagles. I think it's time to really prepare. I'm glad we don't have to go. No one has to face Lambeau Field because I don't even think our players could handle the cold. I don't think anybody could. It just was rust. Everyone just looked rusty, So without further ado, I'm not going to do any rants. I'm not going to say anything. But yeah, I think it's pretty obviously LaFleur was, we had a chance to really, this game was winnable. And out of overrated, overhyped, and he overdid it. Matt LaFleur overdid it. It is what it is. And the fact is, we wouldn't have been able to actually we would have actually been 0-6 if it wasn't for Carl Brooks making a block. That's just what's crazy about it. Even if we win, when we end up making a playoff run and somehow, something happens and the flip is switched and we magically come through the playoffs and win, a lot of changes I feel like can be made this offseason. I feel like, things can happen. But I'm not gonna talk about that stuff until we get eliminated from the postseason. That is not what I'm gonna talk about. But again, Bears fans are going to celebrate this like this their Super Bowl, beating a bunch of second stringers. Go ahead, celebrate it. I don't care. But obviously, if you like what you see, subscribe below, comment your thoughts, and as always, we'll see you next time. Go Pack Go.